Create a fused glass piece with me. Hello, Melissa here from Melissa's Melting Pot. So I start off by cutting the glass. I use a glass cutter with a diamond tip and score the glass and then break it. This is one of my kits. So you can see inside I've included a little thank you card, a business card so that you know who to get in contact with if there's any issues. There's lots of different colours of frit, which is just little tiny chunks of glass. So I've got red, orange, yellow, green and blue as well. But if there are any specific colours that you need for your project, then just let me know. The other little package was stringers, which are little glass threads. Your piece of glass will be wrapped up. I often use recycled materials for this. And then in there as well, you've got a little frequently asked questions card with instructions on the back as well. So that all kind of comes in the box, ready for you to get started. This is the piece of glass that we've just cut. So let's see what we can do with it. I start off by drawing out around my piece of glass. This means that I can design on the paper and I can play around with the design. You can see me here just drawing around it in pencil. So let's see, what is it that we're going to make today? I decided on a floral design for this piece. So I start out just by sketching out the different elements that I want to include. And because of the beauty of glass being transparent, it means that you can see your design underneath, which is really helpful. So anything that you can draw out, you can create on top of your glass. So I've just added in a stem, a couple of leaves, and then I think that we'll add in a couple more flowers as well. So we're just adding in our second flower, and really with your design it's up to you. Whatever you want to do you can create. As long as you can draw it, you can make it pretty much. So I went with flowers, you can go with whatever it is that you'd like. I'm going to add in a third flower over here, just kind of facing that way a little bit. So a few more petals, a little stem, and then let's add in a couple more leaves. There we go. So in a second, what I do is, that's our piece of glass, so I'm going to place it over the top, and I normally pop the frit, which is the little chunks of glass that come in the little bags, either onto a piece of paper or onto a spoon. I'm just adding the glue now, so I put on watered down PVA glue, but normal PVA glue is absolutely fine as well. When you fire it in the kiln, it all burns away, so it doesn't matter how gloopy it looks to begin with, because you won't be able to see it when it's fired and fully fused. I'm adding on yellow for the middle of my flowers and just moving it around. I've got some special glass tweezers because they've got like a little scoop on the end, but you can just use your finger or normal tweezers or a lollipop stick for this. You don't need, or even a paintbrush, you don't need anything special. A pair of tweezers is really useful though. So if you've got a pair, even if they're beauty tweezers or anything really, then they're quite useful to have, because it means that you can grab the little pieces of frit and place them where you want to. As you can see, I'm just popping in some little extra pieces, moving things around so that everything's in the places that I'd like. adding in some extra colour. I know that some of it looks quite clear with that frit, but that is that's because it's a yellow striker. So when it's heated up, that frit that looks yellow, that's clear in the yellow bag, will end up going bright yellow and transparent, which is really lovely. So here you can see I'm going to start off with the blue and the spoon, but I very soon get fed up of using the spoon, so it ends up on the paper, which means that I can kind of separate it out into the different colours. So I'm adding the glue on top of the petals, and as you can see, you can still see the design underneath, which is nice. So you can work to your design. That's just wiping away that little bit of extra glue that got on there. So I'm starting out by putting on some blue petals. So I'm just grabbing the different colours of blue frit that I want to use for this petal, for this flower. In each of the packs of frit, I make sure that I put in a few different shades. So what you can do, if you do decide you'd like a kit from me, is that you can decide what shade you want to use and you can separate it out if you'd like. It's also nice mixed up, so it just depends on what works for your design and your idea. But you can see I'm separating everything out a little bit, just because I think I'd like 3 different coloured flowers, all blues, because blue is my favourite colour, but 3 different kinds of colours. So you can see all the dark blues are going over there, some turquoises as well. So yeah, that's how I work normally. And also, I think it's probably important to say that this video is sped up. So I don't normally work this fast. I'm normally a little bit slower than this. But as you can see, it's a little bit speedier than normal. So I'm just going to finish off this petal, and then we'll move on to the next one. It's kind of got a very mosaic feel about it, so, and that's what it will look like when it's fused. With these kits, unless you specifically ask me to full fuse it, which will make it flat, I normally tack fuse them because the texture is really nice to see, and often that adds a bit of interest to your pieces. So I will tack fuse it when it comes back to me. And when I put this piece into the kiln, you'll see a couple of other fused glass at home kits that have come back to me that have gone in for fusing, and they've gone in all together. So I normally wait until I've got a couple ready so that I can put them all in and I'm not wasting kiln space really. Just some more blue petals going on. This might take a little while, so I've sped it up just to kind of get through it a little bit faster, but so that you can still see the process. As you can see, I'm getting a little bit low with the frit that's on my paper, so I'm going to tip a little bit more out of the bag. There's a lot in there, so you should be able to do whatever design it is that you need with the frit that's provided. Now we're ready to move on to our next flower in a second, so I'm going to add some glue on first and then decide what colour this flower is going to be, what tone of blue it's going to be. So I just add on the glue and then start adding on the frit. This flower is going to be a slightly darker shade, so I'm using those slightly darker shades of blue from my bag. It's got lots of different shades in it, so you can kind of pick and choose which you want to use, what types of pieces you want to use as well, because there's going to be some big pieces of frit, some smaller pieces of frit, so there'll be a real variety in there. So hopefully you should be able to find what it is that you need for your project. I'm going to start on the third flower in a second, and you'll see out of that bag of blue frit I've managed to get 3 completely different shades. So I've put in quite a little variety in there of different shades of blue so that hopefully you can use it for whatever it is that you need. I'm going to use the turquoises now, so let's see how this flower develops. So I've finished on my blues now. So I've got my three flowers, and I'm going to pop away my leftover frit. I tidy up as I go, so I'm just folding my piece of paper in half and popping away the frit that's left over, those little tiny chunks you don't want anywhere to be left around your house. So I think it's really important just to make sure that you clear up. So as you can see, I've still got quite a bit of that blue left. Now I'm going to go on to the green, so I'll pop out some green and start gluing where I need it. So as you can see, I've finished my piece. I've got my 3 daisy flowers with their little yellow middles. So here they are again. So next we put it into the kiln. It goes in on top of kiln paper, making sure that it doesn't stick to the shelf. And then let's close the kiln up and turn it on. So there's turning it on with the switch. Takes a minute to decide to play. So I've already got my kiln schedules all scheduled in to my kiln, so they're all different programs. So you can see I'm just scrolling through to get to the right one. And this is going to be for a tack fuse, which the top temperature is 770. And it will slowly ramp up and then it will slowly ramp down again, so that it makes sure that it doesn't stress the glass out. It kind of it anneals the glass so that it slowly brings it down again. So this is a little bit later. You can see that the temperature now is 576 degrees, so we're still going up. And you'll see actually that it's already gone up by 1 degree just whilst I've been talking. So it's got to keep going up till it gets to 770, but in that there's a few pauses as well where it just holds the temperature. So let's see tomorrow. Now this is the following day and it's come all the way down to 52 degrees, so let's have a peek in and have a look and see what we've got. So you can see there's a few pieces from my Fuse Glass at Home kits from other people who have sent theirs back in that have gone in at the same time, and it's still a little bit too high a temperature to take out, so we're going to leave it in there for a little bit longer. Now we're down to 32 degrees, so we can take it out. So let's take it out and have a little look. Can you see that all of those colours have come up? They've all fused, they've become rounded, they're no longer any sharp little pieces, but they're all round and beautiful. So that's it in the sunshine. We're very lucky that we had a little bit of sunshine for this. There you go. How to make a fused glass piece. Thank you for joining me on our little glass journey from cutting a square piece of glass to ending up with a finished piece of fused glass art. Please follow me on social media if you get the chance. And if you'd like to buy a kit, then please do visit my website or find me on Etsy. Thank you.